How to get rich in 2025. Before I give you the various outlets or investment vehicles, let's talk about the mindset for wealth. And this is very important because majority of people will shut up, but mindset is very important as touching wealth and success. If you are a trader, the first thing you learn once in the academy, they refer you to books on how to manage your emotions, the mindset of a trader. All of this is an attempt to redefine your approach towards trading because majority of you came into the market with the philosophy of get rich quick, the philosophy of trade once and make millions of dollars. Majority of you were sold the idea that the market is your way to financial success, and it is. But if you don't understand the pros and cons, you end up becoming liquidity. So learning about investments or learning how to be rich is not limited to the various esoteric concepts like candlesticks, the advanced terminologies, and all of those investment vehicles, which we'll talk about in a second. But what I want you to prioritize is your mindset towards wealth and abundance. The first thing you understand in the game of wealth is most times it doesn't materialize towards the allotted time frame because our time frame is usually short. Every single one of you would concur and concede that the reason you want to become wealthy, the reason you advance, or the reason you threaded this arduous path of success is because someone said something along the line. Someone, a lady disrespected you, or you looked at your situation and you vowed never to be in this position. You looked at what your mom do and you vowed never for anyone to treat her in X way. Going into the market with that mindset would invariably make you to make a lot of mistakes. If you make a lot of mistakes, you feel guilty. You feel guilty. You become depressed. You become depressed. It discourages you. You become discouraged. You become demotivated to take further action. And it's just this spiral downwards towards negativity. The healthy mindset to approach success with, it takes time. Anything worthy of admiration takes time. And I know this is a hard pill to swallow. And this is why gurus don't give this information as a consequence. Every single one of those shamans or teachers want to delude you, sell you this idea that you can make money quick. Easy come, easy goes. All you're trying to do is to simplify a very complex subject in an attempt to get paid. If it was that easy, every single person would be doing it because the world is a very efficient place and every opportunity has been exploited. I'm not saying there are not opportunities you can take advantage of. Of course, there are, and I would show you. But the point I want every single one of you to admit is that success takes time. Again, the word success is a very glib word. It can mean a zillion things to zillion people. What we are talking about is financial success, and the figure varies across different individuals. So for some people, they will be contented with 10 grand. 10 grand is easy to make. You don't have 10 grand, but to be honest, 10 grand can't do much in this economy. So the mindset I want every single one of you to adopt is that it's going to take time and you're going to build the beliefs. You're going to build the discipline to do what it takes. Now, the first point or the first outlet of success can get into intellectual property. Your business would prosper to the degree in which you are enlightened, your business cannot grow beyond your current level of knowledge. An organization, a family, an individual cannot prosper beyond his level of transformation. A parent can never teach you what he doesn't know. A boss can never implement an idea he's not aware about. So you agree your business prospers to the degree in which you are enlightened, to the degree in which you have grown. That's why people encourage things like personal brand. In fact, a clear analogy of this would be Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. Gates is on the same par with Jobs. They both built $1 trillion company. They both leveraged in the internet. They both made the internet a thing. They leveraged on the internet at its infancy. Now, whether Microsoft copied Apple or not is a different discourse in and of itself. But based on achievements, they are both at par. Maybe Jobs a little bit higher. But why Jobs is revered and respected is not necessarily because he's no more, and we as humans revere the dead. But Jobs was a character. He was arrogant. He knew how to galvanize and motivate people. He knew how to sell himself. He knew how to do a lot of things that made him charismatic. As a consequence, people wanted to work with him. He lived a very interesting life. So we as humans gravitate towards the entrepreneur more than the company, more than the innovation. We love that's why companies and individuals and these gurus are fabricating stories to garner your attention. Why would a car salesman go out of his way to fabricate this story of how he rented a car and the guy almost flew country with it and he stopped? You know, all those kind of bullshit story. You go to the comment section and every single person lies, 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 lies. It's because of this point. Everyone wants to look cool because humans gravitate towards the story, towards the individual than the brand. The same thing with Elon. If it was some skinny dog with the same innovation but devoid of the confidence, the character, the belief in yourself, that regardless of the rocket failures, you still persisted, regardless of the investors, you can stand and look them in the eye and say, look, I'm not going to be a part of this. Look, I'm not going to sell individual information. Look, data would not be leaked under my watch. Look, censorship is not a thing. Zuckerberg has also done something phenomenal. I mean, look at the company he has built. It's a thing of marvel. It's a thing worthy of admiration. However, the way he chose to live his life, the way he chose to operate that company, the way he chose to steer that ship makes him hated. Am I advocating for the placement of your self-worth on the opinions of others? That's far from it. But the point I want every single one of you to understand is building a personal brand, or people gravitate towards your character more than the business. That's the first one. The second is understanding the various outlets for various purposes. For instance, I'll use crypto to generate income, then plunge it back to stocks. I see crypto as a very fast way of making money, and stocks as a way of preserving and multiplying my net worth. So anybody who's valuing himself on something as volatile as crypto is out of his fucking mind. Whereas the richest people in this world, their value is hinged upon their stocks. So if anything happens to the stock market, I'm not the only person in trouble. So there are people who have more leverage than I in that outlet as opposed to crypto. I'm not trying to put one against the other. However, I'm revealing the various purposes of this investment outlet. I'll use one to make money. I'll use one to preserve and multiply. That's how I see it. For instance, Bitcoin slumped to 75. And I remember that morning, my brother goes up early in the morning, gets up, checks his phone, and goes, Jesus, what's the problem? Bitcoin just slumped to 75 grand. Solana is at X price. Perfect time to buy. We got in at 75, sold at 95. Yes, it's at 100 and something or 110 grand, whatever. As long as you made 20 grand profit leveraged across the amount you put up, it's a decent profit. So that's how it works. That's how I see it. So these are the two strategies to get rich in 2025. I promise this video will be succinct and concise. As always, my friends, a pleasure speaking to you. See you in the next one.